Here I am. All right. Let me share the link. Look at this. Look at this. I am on at 9 o'clock. Actually would have been on a couple minutes earlier, but I just noticed that all this time, YouTube has been like, no, you can't upload a custom thumbnail when you go live on your vertical camera. It's fine. That's fine. Totally makes sense. But there is an edit button when you're getting ready to go live using the vertical camera. There's an edit button so that you can like take a photo real quick for your thumbnail. So obviously I had to take ridiculous photos, right? Hello, Judith. How are you? Me and my ridiculous self. Good morning, Taylor. All right, I'm going to sink into my chair. I'm going to grab my coffee. You got a therapist? Oh, yay. Do you love them? Ugh. I need more coffee. You have something for me this morning? Yay! You love her so much. Oh, good. I'm so glad. The picture, though, right? The picture, though. Ah! Authors Equity. That's a new publishing company, right? I think that got started by some, there's like 3 or 4. Yeah, new publishing house. Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 professionals. I think one of them worked for another publishing house. One of them was a literary agent. One of them was like an author / ghostwriter, and they all came together to start this new publishing house. Gave you lots of homework. Well, yay. I might have that wrong, though. I might be getting them confused with another one, because there's another new publishing house, too. Three publishing veterans form a new house. Yeah. Yeah, no, I got it right. It's 3, not 4. CEO, former CEO of, oh, come on, pop-ups. Jeez, crow. Former CEO of Penguin Random House US and Macmillan, respectively. Okay, so former CEO of Penguin Random House US and former CEO of Macmillan, as well as the president and director of strategic development at Penguin Random House, formed a new publishing company. This publisher will operate outside of the traditional publishing business models, offering no advances, but paying a higher percentage of a book's profits, a model used by other types of hybrid publishers. So, CEO of Penguin Random House. Yep. So it's a hybrid. They left traditional publishing and became a hybrid. You know, it makes me wonder. Who's making more money per book, you know? How do you feel about that, young lady? You went to the library to write yesterday? Good morning, Jessica. Okay, so you can explain hybrid publishing. Okay, so hybrid publishing sits right in the middle. Like, I need more markers, by the way. Ah! Oh, that almost I need more markers. I can't find my dry erase markers. All I could find is a Sharpie. I lost all my dry erase markers. And I don't want to use Sharpies necessarily because they seep through all the paper. And I'm getting like ridiculously frustrated over this. Like, I shouldn't be this frustrated, but I really am because I know I've got like packs of markers, but I can't find them. Okay. Wait a minute. One last sweep. Am I sure I can't find a dry erase here somewhere? All right. You know what? I don't want to test because yesterday I did the Sharpie thing and I even put paper on my clipboards and it's still wasted like 7 sheets of paper. I don't want to waste paper like that. All right. So I guess I don't need it. All right. Sorry. That was ridiculous. Okay. So in publishing, there's like 6 different ways to publish, right? You've got on this end, you've got your traditional publishing houses. You might have your big 5, sometimes now called the big 4 because of certain mergers and whatnot. But the main big 5, they do the advances. They dominate the bestsellers lists, etc. And then you've got your small presses. They don't do a lot of advances, but they still go through the traditional publishing process. And they still, it's still the same type of contracts, just without the advances. So with an advance, what happens is the publishing house says, yes, we believe in your book. We're going to pay you whatever. Let's say we're going to pay you $10,000. And then, because that's an advance, and then you'll get a certain amount of royalties. But you don't start getting the royalties until you've paid back the $10,000 from your royalties. So a lot of authors never end up working off that, depending on what the size of the advance was, a lot of authors never end up paying that back. So they never get to see their royalties, or like it comes way, way later. But yeah, they give you an advance of however much money. And then on the back end, after your book comes out, for royalties, they're keeping your royalties until you pay back the advance because they've already paid you. And then after that has been paid off, then you start receiving your royalties. And that can be anywhere from 5 to like maybe 20%, say. Very low overall, but it's because everyone else is getting paid. So there's that side. On the other side, you got indie publishing, right? No advance. No one's paying you for that. You got to come up with funding yourself. You can do that through crowdsourcing like Kickstarter. You can do that just from, GoFundMe's and someone help me write my book. Or you can just write your book without funding at all and just, sit down and write your book, and you're basically self-funding your book, and then figure out how to go and get it publish worthy. Like you're figuring out like, how do you hire the editor? How do you hire the illustrator? So on and so forth to get it published. Then you've got Vanity Press, and I purposely keep Vanity Press. I know a lot of people equate if you pay for publishing and you're not self-publishing, it's a vanity press. Like they've all gotten lumped in together. Hang on. Lots of questions coming up, but I'm not ready yet. Greetings from Uzbekistan. I probably said that incorrectly. But yay, hi, welcome. All right, so vanity press are predatory. A lot of people like lump them in with every other publisher out there who's not either traditional or self. And they're like, if you're paying for it, then it's a vanity. Once upon a time, that was probably the case, because at that point you were like, I want to publish. Self-publishing wasn't an option back then, and you wanted to publish for one reason or another. But at the time, this is no longer the case. I cannot point that out enough. But if the traditional publishers either weren't accepting your manuscript or were asking you to go through too much work in order to make your manuscript acceptable to them, or they were just working too slow and you just didn't want to deal with them, the only other way to get published was through this vanity press. So that's why it's called vanity press. Like, oh, you want your book done and you're willing to pay for it without the traditional publishers. Okay, we'll do it. Vanity press today are super predatory. Back in the day, like back in the 40s when Dorrance Publishing was still relatively new and whatnot, not so much. Not so much predatory. Still not so much great, but not so much predatory. Like they still were trying to help you publish your book. And they didn't have all the predatory practices that they have today. Today, they are so much like their money is from you. You are their author, but you are not their client. You are their customer. So the way that they make money is, yes, they help you publish, but you're the one buying the copies of your book, for example. And you're paying way more money for things like editing. And then they're throwing stuff in there like, we'll help you market your book or some other stuff like that. And it's usually just BS stuff that they're not actually doing because they're making money off of you buying your books. Therefore, they have no reason to make your book a success. Like there's no incentive for them. In traditional publishing, the big incentive is that if your book is a success, they get a lot of money, right? But with Vanity Press, they just need you to pay them to publish it, and then they need you to buy your books. So all of their money is coming from you. So they have no incentive to sell the books. In the middle of that whole mess is the hybrids. Their contracts work similarly to traditional press in that some of them, oh my God, some of them will have like the copyright and stuff, like they're taking on the copyright. And they also have distribution similar to the traditional houses. So they can send your book out. Most of their money comes from book sales. So they also have the incentive to get the book out and to help you get that book out. However, they are not taking on all the risk. So you're paying them to publish the book. Now, they usually charge a lot less than the vanity publishers. Like, whereas the vanity publishers are charging like $10, $15, $20, $30,000 to publish your book and then making you purchase copies yourself. The hybrids usually cost somewhere, I've seen them get as high as 10, but the average is usually somewhere between 5 and 7 because that's not where the money is. The money is in trying to get the sales. That's where they want the money to come in anyway. So, and a lot of them also do not do advances. So because they're not doing advances, you get royalties right away. Same with the small press, by the way. I don't know if that was clear. When you do small press, because they don't do advances, you don't have to pay back the advance. So you get your royalties right away. Same thing with the hybrids, but they are listed as the publisher, and they have certain rights to the copyright and how it gets distributed. Same, which is very similar to traditional publishers. But they're not the ones who are paying. Traditional publishers pay for everything. They're the ones hiring the editors. They're the ones hiring cover designers, formatters, all of it. And in the hybrid, they're not. They're taking care of the distribution, and they've kind of got like a half, like they're a gatekeeper of sorts, but they're not taking on any of the risk. You're paying them for the process of publishing your book, and then they're trying to get your book out there because that's where the real money is going to come in. I hope that distinguishes them all. I think writing at the library is the best option for me right now. I write for 1.5 hours, then my reward is checking out a book. Nice. Naomi means business when she brings out the whiteboard, right? We should buy you pens. Yes. Specifically, like Crayola markers that don't bleed through pages and whiteboard markers, white erase, dry erase. I don't know what they're called. Buying people great pens is one of my love languages. Oh, do you recommend Kickstarter? Is it received well by readers? Oh, Kickstarter is awesome, but it's a lot of work. Kickstarter is amazing. If you want to learn more about Kickstarter, because I don't know a whole lot about Kickstarter. I've had clients do it, but to this day, I still have not run my own campaign from start to finish. I started one. Jessica Cage and I started one. But we never, she got into a car accident, things went wrong, and we ended up canceling it. So to this day, I still have not started and finished one. That said, I have had clients do it. I have helped them through part of the process, and they have loved it. Jessica Cage being one of them. She had her own Kickstarter going. You can also learn a lot from Monica Leonel, who's amazing, and Russell Noelty. I might be saying that wrong. And they actually co-wrote the book, Get Your Book Selling on Kickstarter. And they have a group on Facebook that you can get into for using Kickstarter to start to launch your book. Yes, it is amazing. There's a couple of fundamental issues, not fundamental issues. Like there's a couple of opinions that I have that I wouldn't necessarily do depending on your strategy from Monica. Like in Monica's case, like she's always got the book as part of the tiers, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do that for the bottom tiers. Like I would make that the later tiers because you depending on what you're trying to do with the book. If, for example, if you're trying to get that bestseller status, I would not give the book as one of the prizes on Kickstarter. I would do all the add-ons and the, get the bestiary, get the character encyclopedia, get the star maps, get, a special signed nameplate, get, like all of these other things. I would do those and then, tell them to go buy the book on Amazon so you can hit that bestseller list. But it does work. And Monica does put the books in, and then she's got a bunch of like add-ons and stuff all the time. And it works really well. I've never seen her not be able to fund a book. So basically they primarily handle printing the books and distribution, and you do everything else, including marketing. With all of them, Sarah, with all of them, you're doing the marketing, all of them across the board. Every single publishing house. Very, very few will handle the marketing for you. And usually the ones who actually handle the marketing for you, they're like the big five. And it's because they gave you a big advance and they want their money back. Usually. So but even then, a lot of times I've had authors who got a contract, got a book deal, and it was like a 6-figure book deal. So they got like an advance of like $250,000, which is a lot. And then they still had to handle all the marketing. So they still ended up using that advance to invest in the marketing and paying for people to help them build and manage their marketing campaigns to get the book out. What was her name again? Monica Leonel. So I know she's on Facebook, just Monica, Leonelle, I think. I don't have her book here in front of me. Why do I always talk about authors when I don't have their books here? And then I want to show their book, and I can't because their book is somewhere else in this house. Why do I do that? So no matter what, we can't get out of marketing. No matter what, you cannot get out of marketing. Did I tell you I figured out why I am so scared of my videos getting attention on TikTok? I think you might have. Have you ever written any? Oh, you're back. Okay. Go. And remember, the author does not get the whole advance at once. Not always. Nope, they don't. It comes from trauma. Getting attention as a child led to bad things. Ah. Farah! Hi, Farah. Gonna unpack that with the new therapist. Good. I'm late, but I have a quick question. Okay, what's up? References. Is that your whole question, or is there more? You're like, I have a quick question. One word. Hi, Naomi. You just sent a big comment and it seemed to have gotten flagged. Oh, weird. Okay. I don't know why it got flagged. I'm sorry, but hi. I am an OT and I want to create journals for patients. OT, hang on. I know this. Something technician. Okay. Medical technician. Technically, that is quick, right? They were not lying. I want to create the material appropriately. Occupational therapist. No, it's not technician. Okay. I want to credit the material appropriately. What do I do? Depending on what you're depending on what it is you're putting inside the journal. One thing to remember is the journal is the journal, right? Good morning, Dale. You don't have to credit everything for the idea of the journal. Journals are journals. They are not even necessarily wholly copyrightable, at least not the idea of them. So if you're putting quotes in there, like you're taking quotes from books and quotes from movies and quotes from whatever to be put in there that you're using as the sort of guided prompts for the journal, obviously quote where you heard it from, like person, and then where you heard it from. Or if you just don't know, right? Like I know Maya Angelou said, oh my God, I just forgot everything Maya Angelou said. That thing about creativity and how you can never use it up. Oh God. But she said, like, you know, one of the things about creativity is that you can never use it up. The more you use it, or you can never run out. The more you use it, the more you get, right? I know Maya Angelou said it. I don't know where or when she said it. I don't know in which book or publication. I don't know if it came out in a magazine. I just know she said it. So if I wanted to put that as a quote inside of a journal, I would put Maya Angelou, right? On the other hand, if I wanted to post something about, the places you'll go, I would say like Dr. Seuss from the book, Oh, the Places You Will Go, right? Something along those lines. So when it comes to like those kinds of prompts for like guided journals, you're going to just put the information. Now, what I would do in your case, if you were using information from, say, medical, not papers, journals. Oh my God. Like if you we're going into like, what's the name of that one? PCM, PCH. What? Hang on. I can't remember the name of it now. I know I just did a bunch of stuff over there. I can't remember the name of it now. I was in the middle of typing it and you said technician, and I thought, maybe you don't. Nope, I'm just confused, Taylor. These are educational information, so they know how to protect themselves. Oh, okay. So Farah, in that case, treat it as a lit review, basically. So you're going through the, basically treat it as a lit review without the data analysis. Have you done a lit review? How to take care of their health within the health care system. Yeah, and then add in what are words. Oh my God, I tell you, today is but yeah, treat it as a lit review without the data analysis, and then add it. Make sure you're adding in your own spin. So something along the lines of, you put in the information. So and so said. So and so said. Put in, use what do occupational therapists use when they do lit reviews? APA. Put in the, the last name and the year. Link the last name and the year if you want to whatever study or book or source or whatever you can for it. And then give your personal take. Because the whole reason to buy some kind of a guided journal is so that they can learn from you. You happen to be bringing in other experts, but really they could get that from anyone. So you want to put in you. So you're going to say something along the lines of like, so-and-so says this and this. I take this to mean bam. So you've brought in your own insights. You've given them the information from the educational materials and then brought in your own insights and then tell them what to do with it. So I take that to mean this, and this is how I deal with that. Now it's your turn. Go write this. Does that make sense? I run a business that you might classify as vanity publisher. We provide services like editing, formatting, book cover design, etc., and help publish books on KDP and Lulu. So I would call you more hybrid or partnership publishing than vanity. Vanity publishers are really just predatory, and they don't have the same distribution that the other publishers have. They make their money on the author, and they have, like, first off, they have exorbitant fees. Like, I don't know what your fees are, but a lot of the vanity publishers, like if you hire a freelance editor, for example, on a book that is about 250 words, you're probably going to pay somewhere between, say, $1,500 and on the high end, maybe $4,000. And that's on the super high end. The median that you're going to pay is probably closer to like $2,500, maybe $3,000, right? But roughly there. But then these vanity publishers are charging like $6,000 and $7,000 just for the editing. Like, they're exorbitant. It's not within the scope of what it would cost you to just hire a freelancer yourself. And part of that is like this convenience tax. Like, we're finding the professionals for you, so give us the money, and so on and so forth. But then also their book sales are the author buying the book and then storing the inventory and selling it themselves, and so on and so forth. They don't do the distribution the way the traditionals do. So if you're saying like, yes, you're paying us to help you get the book out, but we are also getting the book out, I would call you either a hybrid or, like, I know some people call themselves partnership publishing. Like over at the Collective Studio, they are a partnership publisher, and they do the same thing. And they are basically a hybrid with like certain gatekeeping tendencies. Like, they only take on certain books that fit within their wheelhouse. Like, for example, they don't do memoirs. They've never done memoirs. If you pitch them a memoir, they will refer you out to someone else because they don't do memoirs. It's not within their wheelhouse. Reference a lot of National Library of Medicine, NLM, PCH. My brain today. Okay, I'm sorry. A lot of my knowledge in school, but I don't remember which books. Lit review, love that. Yeah. You've never done a lit review. I was happy to get a name. Yes, for us, authors are customers because we do not keep any royalties. We charge for the services that we provide. It's all transparent. We are very upfront about it. You've been an occupational therapist for 24 years and transitioning patient care community. There's also a difference between dashboard management and what some of these other people do. Hello, Rashid. Yes, I've been, 24 years. Hey, Naomi, I'm about 2 months into writing a novel, but I'm really not optimistic about how it's turning out. I'm thinking I can adapt it into a new genre. Do you have any experience with adapting it into a new genre? I don't. Hello, Franco. Hi, Cody. Preppy all day. Hi. Hi. So I have never taken a book and kind of adapted it into a new genre. Like I personally have never done that. My first steps, if I needed to do that, my first steps would be to really take a look at the different expectations between the genre that your book is currently fitting in and the genre that you want it to fit into, right? And really take a look at what the different reader expectations are, because that's going to be the first thing that you're going to want to make sure that you've got set up so that you can add in. For example, if you were trying to take an adventure or fantasy and turn it into a romance novel, but you still want the overall quest that they're going on to matter, but now the romance becomes the core rather than the quest, right? So romance novels, the expectations is that, basically treat the relationship of the romance between whichever characters you've got going on as a third character. There should be a whole arc within the romance itself, and also a happy ending. That's another expectation within that genre. So you're going to want to make sure that you go in and study your current genre and see where to add in those elements before you even start rewriting anything. Just look to make sure that you understand the differences between the two and start making those notes. And then from there, because then by then you'll have a little bit of a plan, or at least in my head, I would have a little bit of a plan on my notebook of, okay, I got to switch this to here and I got to switch this to there, so on and so forth. And then I would go in and start rewriting in a new document. I would not make any changes on the current document, but in a brand new document, I would start just rewriting with the new thoughts in mind of what happened. You might have two documents open at the same time so you can see the old and then run it through your new ideas into the new document. And I would do it that way. And the reason for the new document is because if you change your mind again, if you're like, you know what? No, it was definitely better the other way. Well, good news. It's still the other way. Okay. I thought you had a real question. All right. Well, my answer still stands for everyone else. Can I say hi, Emily and Gracie, please? Well, I just said it. Hi. Hello. What's going on? Hi. I'm a ghostwriter and coach, and so this is a live Q&A for anyone who has a question about writing or publishing books. If like pick my brain kind of thing. Is a book still a why choose if it only has two? You know what? I do not know all the rules and tropes behind a why choose because I don't write that. So that I honestly don't know. I'm considering to release book 1 after my 3rd book is written. How do I go about feedback if it's not released? Do I rely on betas, alphas, editors? Yes. So that would be what the way that I would go about it, Franco, is either your betas, alphas, ARC reviewers, editors. You can go back and say, hey, you helped me create this book. I need, testimonials, reviews, whatever, endorsements to put it with, within my marketing. Do you mind sending me a statement? And I would be bold about it. I would even go so far as to say, like, I have an example statement below that if you like, you can just sign and send back. And a lot of people will just say, yeah, put my name on that. Now, obviously, you can't use the same example with each person that you send it to because you run the risk of 2 people saying, yeah, just go with that. And then you got 2 statements that match each other word for word. But a lot of times, people just don't have time. So if you say something along the lines of, I've got a sample statement that you can just sign your name to and I'll take it. A lot of times, especially if it matches what they would have said anyway, they'll just do it. So I would start there. The other thing that you can do is ARC reviewers, if you haven't already. Did I say that earlier? I don't know what is going on with my brain today. It is not a great brain day. But yeah, you can do the ARC reviewers, and then yeah, just do a push. Just do a big review push to your launch team and so on and so forth. Like during the week leading up to release day, make sure you got everyone is like prepared to leave their reviews. Not everyone will be able to until after release day. So you're just going to want to make sure that they're all prepared. And then on release day, remind everybody, hey, go review, go leave your review. Thank you. Two or more love interests. You actually enjoy nonfiction's awesome, Dale. I don't believe you. I don't believe it. I mean, I don't blame you. I need more sleep. You won't be here for office hours, doctor appointment. Okay. All right. IBPA Publishing Map, Models and Author Pathways is out. It breaks down 8 types of publishing models. It's fantastic. Yes, Farah. I've always broken it down to 6, so I'm interested in what their other 2 is. But yeah, I use their definitions of, like, to differentiate between, or at least what their definitions were as of 2 years ago, because they had this whole statement out about the differences between a vanity press and a hybrid publisher and so on and so forth. And like how, like their criteria for a real hybrid publisher and what the red flags are. So I've always used that as a differentiator about what is a vanity press and why I call them predatory versus what is a hybrid press. It came from them. Why choose in the FMC? 2 or more love interests, 3 or more, I thought. They don't have to both be. This is for the comment from earlier. It took me a while to find it. Sorry, I'm caffeine deficient. Me too. Yeah. That's exactly why I use why choose instead of the reverse name. What's wrong with my fingers? I don't know. Hello. Synapses are not synapsing, correct? Hello, Sasha. How are you today? How was your day today? I read a Christmas one that had 12. So many moving parts. If it's two love interests, I see it as a love triangle. But it's not a triangle because the third line isn't there. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm reading 3 books now. 2 of them are nonfiction. The Ruling, that is fun. The Scheduling, that is fun. 8 different publishing models, association, nonprofit. Copy and paste it. It's all running together. It's fine. It's fine. Hello. All right, let's see what it says. Association, society, nonprofit, authors, corporate trade publishers, higher education, academic publishers, independent publishers, small press service providers, university presses. Indy! Hello, Indy. May I just say you're the best. I've learned so much from you. Thank you, Farah. Is the publishing industry changing the name to Why Choose? I use RH because I keep hearing the name in the industry is still that. I prefer calling it Why Choose. I don't know who specifically is pushing for the name change to be Why Choose, but I heard it from the readers. And my thought is if authors want to market to readers, they better use the language that readers are using. Because you can call something whatever you want, but if the readers are looking for something else, they're never going to find you. If you refuse to use their words for whatever reason, like for example, I will use this. I hate the phrase aspiring author. Do not like it. I don't like it. In my mind, as soon as you start writing, you are an author. You're the A word. You are an author. That is it. Do it. But do I still use the word aspiring author? Yeah, because do you know how many authors out there, especially new ones, call themselves that? Like, it doesn't matter how much I dislike the term. If I want to reach those authors who are just brand new and starting out, I got to use aspiring because they're the ones who are using it. Does that make sense? And if it's the readers who are, at least that's who I found out about it from, was from the readers saying they don't want to use RH, they want to use Why Choose. So if I were an author who wrote in that genre, I would start using Why Choose because that's what the readers are using. And if they're searching for a book and they're not using RH, they're not going to find my book. You know what I mean? Wait, it's not a love triangle. So technically that is the name of it. Technically that is the name of 3 people is love triangle. There you go. Love triangle. That looks more like a Hershey's Kiss. Just saying. Love triangle. However, it's very rarely a love triangle where all 3 are pointed. It's usually a corner. Well, one person is in the middle and they like this person, but they also like this person. And they don't, and then they get all stuck. I don't know which one to choose. But there's no relationship between these 2 people down here. So in my mind, it's not really a triangle because these 2 people aren't connected. They're only just both connected to the same person up here. So it's like, it's a corner. but no one calls it a corner. Love the content, Mama. Keep it up. It's inspiring. That's for the fans. Thank you. Wanted to say that you are always beautiful. Thank you. Leaving another gentle reminder, Library of Congress video. It's almost spring. Oh my God. I suck. Indy, I just came back from 8 hours of working. You're exhausted. I don't blame you. I definitely want to call my series a Why Choose. I would definitely put Why Choose in your metadata. I learned to stop using aspiring author. Got that from you. Yay! I write a reverse that's more fantasy than romance. Like the romance and spicy scenes are there, but not at the forefront. Probably not. I mean, it probably wouldn't be called specifically within that genre. Mostly because the romance is the focus. The rest of the stuff, so like a fantasy romance, the romance, it's basically a romance book with fantasy elements, right? So it's got magic and maybe some quests and some magical creatures and things like that. But the focus is on the romance and the romantic interest and the relationship. That is the core plot theme of the book. It's just got magic around it, right? Whereas a romantic fantasy, the quest and the magic is at the forefront. That is the core of the book. And it's got romantic elements around it. But the romantic, those are like subplots. So it really does change where you would place it on the bookshelf. Would you place it in a fantasy? If you go into the bookstore, would you place it on the fantasy bookshelf? Or would you place it in romantic, in the romance part, or spicier romance bookshelf? That makes a difference as to where the focus of the book is and what people can expect. Why choose that life? Venn diagrams. I love corner. What are we discussing? We are writing and publishing. Pantsing life. I'll see once I write it. Yeah. If you're not entirely sure, that's what beta readers help with. Ow, my cat. Stop with the claws. Hey. All right, but I am going to put you down. Thank you. Oof. Give me attention. She did too. She was just laying on my lap. And she does this thing with her paws where she goes like, and she just lays there like this. But her paws were like over my foot because I had my legs crossed. And then it's like she just looked up at me and went, and like started digging her claws into my heel. Like, hey. Why Choose is my jam, so I have a lot of them started. I will read all you peeps have. There you go. If the relationships are important for the main plot, but them being romantic relationships isn't. Is it fantasy is the main plot? I no longer know what my genre is. Okay, so first off, Taylor, don't even worry. You're still writing. Your genre can be whatever you want. Just write the book. That's your genre. Write the book, okay? You can figure out the genre in the beta reading stage. Once, like, you get through your editing, your self-editing, hiring your editor, formatting, et cetera, you get down to the beta readers, make that part of their feedback. If you were to walk into a bookstore, where would you expect to find this book? And then have them basically vote, right? There, genre taken care of. There you go. was your favorite novel? The one I am reading at the moment. I know that doesn't sound like a real answer, but it is. So that's where I would, Taylor, that's where I would not really worry about it while you're writing. While you write the book. Technically, for it to be a romance, the relationship is treated almost like a separate character. So you've got your, character one, and not only are they going through whatever the plot of the book is, but they are also growing as a character. They have their character arc. And then also their character arc is going to have an effect on the relationship. So you're going to see how they interact with the relationship and how the relationship changes within the character arc itself, like how they affect each other. And the same with character number 2. The relationship has an effect on character 2. They've got their own arc going throughout the plot, and they are affecting the relationship arc. And then the relationship arc itself has its own thing going and is affected by both characters. And the more characters you have in the relationship, the more, the more you've got to balance out how the arc is going and how it's affecting each of the characters. But that becomes the primary plot device, is that relationship and how it grows through all these other trials, tribulations, the quests, so on and so forth. But it becomes your primary plot. If the primary plot is the quest and the relationships are just subplots, then I personally probably wouldn't put it on a romance shelf. I would probably put it in a different shelf, depending on the type of the type of quest or whatever the plot is. But again, beta readers, trying to market to Christian allegories and YA sci-fi. What are some things to consider trying to balance or cater to different genres? Why are you trying to cater to different genres? Would be my question. I have this question. Naomi on the Daily. Smacks with newspaper. No, write your book. Yeah, Taylor, write the book. Who gave Alex the newspaper? She just grabs it. Alex's. I have a friend that told me an odd story about a famous artist's mother giving him something she was working on. It was a curriculum based on this artist, kind of how Ivy League schools create classes around them. She has since passed on. They do have a living relative, but she did give it to him in hopes he'd teach it. Aw. Oops. Can he publish the curriculum or create a book based on the information? I have my own newspaper. Okay, so they've passed and they... It sounds like... Is it your friend's mother? Wait. I have a friend that told me an odd story about a famous artist's mother gave him something she was working on. It was a curriculum based on the artist. So the artist's mother... So the artist's mother was working on a lesson curriculum based on her child, the artist, and told your friend, hey, this is what I was working on. But I'm probably never going to teach it, so I want you to. And now your friend want a son. Okay, and now your friend wants to publish it. So I think me personally, I don't know if any of this was in writing. I would hope some of it was in writing. Like, even if it's just a quick note, hey, here's that curriculum I was telling you about. Thanks for taking this on, or something like that. Okay, so technically speaking, I think that, yeah, he could publish. And I think that he would be backed up. However, I would get the son's permission. Yeah, because this is now, as long as we're talking about the stuff that the mother gave him in her passing, yeah. Now, the reason I would go for the son's permission is, like, let's say, for example, let's say I was writing a book based on my kids. And then I went to Alex, because why wouldn't I pawn off more ideas onto Alex? But I went to Alex and I said, hey, I'm on my deathbed and I really want this book to get out about my kids. So can you take it over for me? Well, Alex, being Alex and having 150 works in progress already, would obviously take it on. And not only would she finish my book, but she would probably, like, come up with another one, like, I don't want your kids to do this, so I'm going to write my own book where your kids do this other thing, right? So she would get like 3 book ideas out of my book, and then she would finish it. Now, my kids might get angry that Alex is the one doing it. So would they go after her? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm raising my kids to be better than that, but maybe they would. But ultimately, I was the one who asked Alex to do it. And so ultimately, she has permission to do it at that point, and I'm gone. Now, could that get caught up in the courts and whatnot if my kids decided to go after Alex? Maybe, and it would be international court at that, because Alex is in Canada. But so it could cause a headache, which could delay production / publication, because all of this back and forth. And ultimately, Alex would basically be like, look, Naomi shared this information with me because she really wanted this book to get out. And she knew that I would do it, is what it comes down to. Whereas, would my kids have done it? I don't know. I'm just making things up right now. But that's all Alex would have to say. And she would be fine. But the headache is still there. So to avoid that headache, what I would say about the process would be for Alex to go to my kids and say, hey, your mom wanted me to do this. But before I do it, I wanted to know your thoughts. Did you want to be involved? X, Y, Z, so on and so forth. And get their thoughts and whatever. And because I'm raising my kids to be awesome people, they would probably be like, yeah, yay, here's my photo. Can you do it? But basically, that is like, that would avoid all of the headaches. So I would go to the son and say, your mom sent me all of this material in hopes that I would follow through and publish it after she passed. But since the material is about you, and I know about your relationship with your mother, before I follow through on my promise to her, I just thought that I should check with you to see if you wanted some input, if you wanted to be involved in this project, and to what extent. There is a really good chance that they're just going to be like, go for it. There's another really big chance that they might tell you no. Living relative. I'm getting all of the kids involved in this story mixed up. I apologize. It is a very convoluted story. Fun writing about the kids. Mother of the artist has collaborations with other famous living contributors. She works so hard. Of course, feature Alex is cool, right? Russia and USA friendship in the space. The material she has other celebrities and famous political leaders, religious leaders, humanitarians, and a bunch of well-known folks. I told him that he needed to get permission since they collaborated with her. Probably, yeah. Can I say hi, Amina? Well, I just said it. Imagine hearing about it. Yeah. So I would probably get permission from everyone involved with the project, because they collaborated with her based on certain assumptions and based on certain information. The information is changed because she has passed. There could be there could be nothing there. They could be like, well, I still want to be involved in the project. But there could also be a whole, the only reason I gave this interview was because it was her, and I don't want to publish anyone else. So Alex is the best. Hey, Elvis's mom gave me this. You could put it in the world. Now it's like, what the heck do you do with that? Yeah. In secret, she's just AI. All right, y'all. I have to run. I hope you all have an amazing day. For Word office hours, I'm going to see you in just about 30 minutes over on Zoom, okay? Duolingo telling us to work. Do I have any advice on getting a fantasy series published? Is it like a step-by-step process, or is it possible that you could get a whole series published? It is going to be step-by-step. If you are looking to get traditionally published, like with a small press or a big publisher, I would really suggest going to an agent. But first things first, finish the book. Finish the book. Where's that newspaper? Finish the book. Like, get that first. Don't worry about the rest of it just yet. Finish the book. If you can, around the edges, start marketing yourself. Giving up all my secrets. Am I Shaq? Obviously. Don't I look like a basketball player? All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Word People office hours in just under 30 minutes over on Zoom. I'll share the link, and I will talk to y'all soon, okay? Bye.